To some, this is a sacred ceremony, consuming a plant medicine from the Amazon. It's called ayahuasca. It's illegal in Canada, but could this ancient brew be embraced here one day by modern medicine?
You could see bad things, you could see good things, but that's what the medicine gives you. It gives you what you really need.
Years ago, you would have been hard-pressed to find an ayahuasca ceremony being held outside of the Amazon. But now more and more people believe in the power and the promise of the plant. And that's brought us here to the suburbs of New York City. And tonight, we're getting rare access to one of those ceremonies.
Bjorn.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm Mark.
Nice to meet you, Bjorn.
Nice to meet you.
I'm here for a night of discovery with a healer named Bjorn Lieneman, his apprentice, Del Henderson, and a potent brew of jungle medicine, ayahuasca.
It's going to be a wild night. This is the ayahuasca?
Yeah, the ayahuasca was already pre-made and everything in Peru. But what we do
Ayahuasca is made by combining Amazonian roots and leaves, which, when boiled together, produce a naturally occurring psychedelic called DMT. What's considered natural in the jungle seems a little unusual in a Long Island kitchen, as the brew is blessed with ceremonial tobacco. Ayahuasca has a sludgy consistency.
It smells resiny.
And I'm told it tastes like the jungle.
Come on, Dora.
And some believe it can change your life. Just ask Bjorn.
Cleanses you, gets rid of all the bad stuff,
He grew up in Long Island, ran with a rough crowd. A bullet in his spine sparked a spiraling dependence on heroin to help heal his chronic pain.
You were addicted.
Addicted, and it's like a never-ending circle, going in and out of jail, back and forth, and then it was kind of strange when I went to jail. I met some guy in there and said, he told me about ayahuasca and said he was a shaman. And he says if I would do ayahuasca, I wouldn't be addicted to heroin no more. I said, how's that possible?
When Bjorn was released in 2007, he ordered some ayahuasca online and dove in. He landed in a sea of self-discovery, riding the waves of powerful hallucinations.
I just was torn out into the universe, put back together, and I just felt the love with a tear coming out of my eye, and I was reset. And I just felt all this love, and they're like, you're cured, you know?
And you believe it's the ayahuasca that has healed you of your drug addiction?
Yes, but you got to want it. You can't, just think it's a magic pill and it's gonna work and this and that. You gotta also work with it. The biggest part, it gives you a spiritual awakening.
That's a pretty bold claim, but it's testimonials like Bjorn's that, for so many, are building the aura and the appeal of ayahuasca. It's believed ayahuasca has been used for centuries by indigenous people in the Amazon, where it's referred to as the medicine. The hallucination seen as a gateway to spiritual growth and healing. Ceremonies in North America are a relatively new thing. Will the experience be the same? Well, that's what these people are here to find out. Justin Abad is struggling with addiction issues.
It was drugs at one point, like cocaine and things of that sort. Mm-hmm. And now it's shifted towards food.
Have you tried more sort of conventional treatments?
Therapy, things of that sort. It just felt uncomfortable to me.
Maria Marine's curiosity about ayahuasca led her to Bjorn.
I need to look inside of me. I need to see what it is, if there's more to it.
In this cramped suburban sunroom, the most unlikely of healing settings, some leaning against a hot tub, the ayahuasca begins to take effect. That means purging, violent vomiting, a prelude to the visions or hallucinations that for some can trigger a transformation. It's not just me that's watching this intently. So too are scientists.
Have you ever tried it?
Yes.
What was your experience like?
I would say my biggest experience was how it helped me get off tobacco.
Really?
Yeah.
Brian Rush is an internationally recognized scientist in Toronto, specializing in addiction and mental health.
Like, I saw myself dead. It was very clear from tobacco because my body was covered in black tar. And I never had a cigarette since. That was about 8 years ago. This is a painting from a very well-known artist.
Is this a reference to an ayahuasca experience?
Yes.
The visions that people are having, this is a
This is
representation
representation
of those visions.
Yeah, very vivid. So
The visions are triggered by the
two components
DMT.
of ayahuasca,
Other
this
naturally
is the
occurring chemicals in the mix stimulate neurotransmitters in the brain. Those can affect everything from mood to anxiety levels and self-awareness. Rush says new research has just been published about the potential of ayahuasca to help with depression.
So the best kind of research, our world of research, a double-blind clinical trial. So the person doesn't know what they're getting, the investigator doesn't know what they're getting, and it's a randomized controlled trial. The first one was published on ayahuasca and showed the benefits for depression. The world of research took notice. This is hard to argue against.
And that could be why ayahuasca's popularity is soaring. Rush estimates thousands of Canadians may have tried it, some seeing it as a natural alternative to prescription drugs or therapy. People like Yuri Blahin.
Maya. I was really skeptical and cynical about it.
He's an IT guy in Toronto. Ayahuasca was not on his radar, but the skeptic was struggling with a secret.
Since 13, 14, I had this crippling depression. I was good at hiding it, and then I started working with a psychologist and antidepressants. It was numbing things. Like
Yuri wanted off his meds, and that led him to an ayahuasca retreat in Peru. He remembers powerful visions of his skin being torn off, how disconnected he was. For him, it was a rebirth.
So this is a little piece of ayahuasca vine cut in half.
Yuri is off antidepressants. He has been for 7 years. He's happy now, but goes back to the jungle annually to continue working on himself.
I can tell you right away, there is very little fun about it. It's the hardest work that I've done in my life, and every time I go to a ceremony, I dread it in a way, and if there was a way not to do it and still yield the same results, I would totally go for it.
Yuri now wants to share the power of the plant. He works with an organization that takes military vets with PTSD on jungle retreats. But the use of ayahuasca is not without risks. 32-year-old Jennifer Logan from Saskatchewan died in Peru in 2015 after a violent reaction to a tobacco purge during a ceremony. There are also real concerns in the Amazon and in North America about tea being spiked with other hallucinogens, as well as sexual assault and theft while people are under the influence.
Are there concerns that these ceremonies that are going on in North America may actually do more harm than have any real benefit to them?
I think even people who are kind of part of the research world around ayahuasca, or part of this culture, acknowledge some of the risk. So is there really sufficient screening around safety? And then is there really sufficient follow-up?
So the legal risks, the potential health risks, have pushed ayahuasca underground in cities across North America.
Is there always a lingering concern that because ayahuasca is illegal, that you've got to keep low profile, low key, and be careful about who you bring into your circle?
Of course, yeah. In Toronto, I know quite a few people who have trained in the Amazon and then came back, and I know quite a few practitioners who have relocated to Vancouver and live there now. But yeah, ceremonies in North America, people who organize them, they have a lot of logistics to worry about. It's still a crime.
But back in Long Island, Bjorn is convinced the benefits of ayahuasca outweigh the risks. And that's why he's let us and our camera into his ceremony. We contacted a lot of people in Canada to see if we could come and videotape the ceremonies, and they were like, no way, because it's illegal, we don't want this out there. But you've allowed us in. Why? Why?
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I've been to jail. I've been there. If they want to come, boom. You know what? When I heal other people,
That's the reward.
That's my reward, because it's healing me also.
I've seen an ayahuasca ceremony in the Amazon before, and this is something entirely different. From the First Nations headdress Bjorn recently bought online, to the sound bowls and the guard dog barking in the yard. But then it happens. The hallucinations begin. This woman, Kai, seems to be in distress. But Bjorn, who's studied with healers for years, guides her through her unsettling experience. I'm witnessing for myself why people told me ayahuasca ceremonies can be difficult, deeply personal, and sometimes painful. Clearly, this is not for everyone. In the end, the ceremony lasted 12 hours. Will it change people's lives? Well, we can't answer that, not yet. But this much we know. The next night, about 40 more people showed up for another ceremony at Bjorn's house and settled in for their own ayahuasca experience.